Alright, Seawood, here we are coming into the SPY for March 21st. We were in an uptrend, recent, long-term uptrend, recent uptrend. Past couple weeks we went sideways, kind of all-time highs pulled back. This was a potential lower high because we should have been breaking out going up here, but so I was thinking if we got below this range, the volume could have come in. Sure enough, here we go, wide range day through this range and closed lower. So that's the first change of character, first sign of weakness we've seen in the SPY, and also volatility increasing. So still above the 50-day and 200-day long term, but definitely short term, the trend is down in the overall markets, and you can see that through some trades we're going to look at later. So top two pre-market movers, ESPR back up there. I was already very hesitant in this because we were, coming off a mega wide range day the day before, making higher highs, higher lows in pre-market, which looked good. So I guess you could have been buying here in pre-market, but your expectations should definitely be muted because what's the likely probability is that we're going to have an 80-20 or morning continuation and then a reversal, right? So we get this right on the open. Maybe you could have been taking this open range buy, but not looking to hold this for a trend trade definitely. So what sticks out to me more is that we get this gap up, go up, and then change of character down through VWAP. So here's a good counter trend trade entry spot. If you would have been looking for that. I was not particularly looking for a counter trend trade today. The other pre-market mover was Deutsche Bank. So it had a lot of pre-market volume. The same thing was just like, we're in a pre-market uptrend, and then we get to the open, so higher highs, higher lows coming into the open. We test up into this prior pre-market resistance level, can't break it, and we start, coming back below VWAP. So you come down below VWAP. I'll not necessarily call this a change of character, but definitely like a strong move through VWAP and pull back, tested a couple times, and now we're holding the lows of the opening range, the low of the day, below VWAP, full Covell, even though we have a gap down. So we have a failure test after a gap down, like failure test up. And, kind of holding the sideways range in here, so you could have been, shorting in here with the stop at VWAP. It's not any, bank-breaking trade. You still made about, 2 to 1. I think maybe a little bit lower. And it's still like a 2 to 1 trade, but it's just the principle of like in play. So you could get like maybe like 3 to 1, but the principle of in play stock trend termination. Then we get spike off the open, change character, holding below VWAP. So top two in play stocks in pre-market. So one thing I really want to do, and I feel that it's going to be very constructive for my trading, because I am a liar, and this is demonstrated by where I told you I entered in this trade before. So I'm going to go to the 4-minute and scroll all the way back here. So in the video, I said to you that I entered at this bar. Well, that's untrue. I actually entered on this bar. I entered at 9:52 and like 53 seconds, right, which was almost this bar. But since I'm willing to be delusional and I'm willing to fudge the numbers, even by 8 seconds, it matters, man, because that means I'm not committed to getting better. I'm committed to protecting my ego. I'm committed to doing the wrong thing. So this is absolutely, it's going up without me entry, and I'm so guilty of that. Even this one bar, I'm a liar. So by 8 seconds, I'm a liar. Rodeo, riding the bull, riding the bullshit. That's what I'm doing. So wanted to point that out because it's that important that I do that. Because if I'm not committed to getting better if I'm lying to myself. And because it's not, I'm not lying to you, man. Like you're helping me review and get better. But if I'm not willing to be honest with myself, then I certainly cannot improve. So wanted to say that today. Okay, coming into Momo, just what I traded today. Let me get back to the daily chart. Momo was the only stock I traded today, so get rid of all these fucking lines. So we were talking about the weakness in Momo. We had been in an uptrend, maybe exhaustion gap or breakaway gap, but we talked about this change of character bar. Coming back up, not really a lot of buyers, like not a lot of takers here at the high. We get a failure test yesterday at the all-time high, so the idea was for looking for weakness, today. I didn't wait until we got below the prior day's low, and here's why. I just deleted my line, but this like the close was kind of like an over under level. Maybe call that like a 5. Nothing special, but what I noticed was on the open, let me throw my fucking, just a moment, I guess get rid of that as well. Show today's trades on chart. It literally was just there like 2 seconds ago. Anyway, I don't know what the fuck just happened. Okay. So on the open, there we go. Okay. So I was on the wrong day. So on the open, we open lower, spike up just a little bit. Not let it spike up, but we just test up and test that prior over under resistance level. So this is like a level where people should have been playing from. We technically have a red to green move. So if there are any buyers up here, they should have been interested. And so open, down, test up. I mean, that's just the principle of what we like. And so we start coming back down, holding sideways below the cove area, not Cove L just yet, but below the cove area. So I said, hey, we're going sideways here below cove. I'll throw on a little trade here, right at this red dot, and put my stop up above VWAP. So I think I risked about, it's like 30 cents. I was thinking, I could have gone my max of 400 shares, but I was more interested in controlling my risk. And anyway, it ended up being a good trade for the day. So big picture is the weakness in the background. Volume started coming in, and making lower highs, lower lows intraday. Where did I decide to exit? This kind of like UFO area. I saw definitely that there was potential support down here. So when we come down to that level, we were coming. I didn't quite get out at the level, but I was just kind of anticipating. Okay, like huge volume came down into this level. We get another test of the low of day, and we start coming back up. So I was like, okay, I don't want to give back too much in this trade. Maybe I missed like an extra like buck or 50 cents, 60 cents, but you're not going to catch the exact high or the low of the day. But what is important is I caught the meat of this move. So it was a nice couple point chop. 300 shares. I mean, and this is like a legitimate trade I could be taking in the Bulls Wall Street account, and this pays for my next 5 losing trades. So just putting the big picture together led me to have one good trade today. So another thing that triggered that I had been talking about was Kite. So kind of like, I went long with this yesterday, and so this is a sushi roll, isn't it? So what we say is like it's going to break out the one side, or maybe it's technically not sushi roll because we should have had a higher close, I suppose, for the sushi roll. But I was thinking, hey, if we break these 4 days like long, or 4 days to the upside, volume should come in, right? So that didn't happen. So I had my alert set here with the prior days this range low, and so the alert triggers here. We get a nice like controlled like bear flag just under that level. So you could have been risking here, up above the level. Maybe maybe not that much, but definitely like volume was good coming in, full Cove L at that point, breaking the last low of the past 5 trading days. So definitely one good trade here. There was a lot of good shit today, just because like the SPY, all these trades set up to SPY, like Facebook. You see a lot of the similar themes of just gap up, go up off the open. Once we kind of get below the open and VWAP, there were some nice counter trend trades in there. I think Amazon did the same thing. Google did the same thing. So just kind of all the high beta names, maybe profit taking here, in anticipation of a market correction, or they're leading the way for a market correction. Who knows? But this has definitely been change of character from like what we've seen recently. Just these slow, grindy days. Tesla was like, just the idea of these 3 overlapping days lead to a breakout. So, and once we kind of test down, maybe could have got alerted like right here, and shorted, this little pop in anticipation of the low of day break. So that's a full Covel. If you pay the breakout and with your risk just above here, so I mean you're risking $1 and then a $260 stock. So 8-to-1 trade doesn't look like a monster. Like you said, some of the best trades don't look terribly fantastic, but a nice little flag here. Could have been entering there and kept a tight risk. Still would have been in for a nice little move. So Chim. It's talking about the continuation. This is looking mega change of character, right? So backside of the move. Why I didn't like this trade is we opened up and was fine, but then we spiked down. I mean, $1.27 in the first like 10 minutes. We did get a nice little pullback, so I was thinking like wanted to see these lower highs kind of coming into the low of day. So maybe could have thrown on a trade somewhere in here. That would have been a good spot, but just the fact that it went down so far so fast off the open, and all I did was, as you said, just like compared this bar to this. Like it had already looked like this by like 9:40. So I was like, okay, I'm probably just gonna avoid this. CSIC had earnings yesterday. Not sure if they beat or missed earnings, so that's on me. But what we had is this prior like support level. We came into it in pre-market, had not a lot going on. So what I want you to notice is that I'm on to the other day. Excuse me. So we open down, but as we said, when we have a down open, we like to see a test up. So prior support becomes resistance, and then as we start, now we're full Covel. Get this nice little sideways, could have been thrown on in there. Could have waited in this pop to VWAP. Could have shorted in here. So these were all overlapping bar entries. I mean, maybe this one is a winning trade, but at least you have all the bigger picture ideas going for you. LJPC was kind of not a true sushi roll, but just a reversal of we're talking about all these overlapping days. So, and the volume's not so good in this. So it's not like an A+ trade, but it's just an idea. If we get below this day's low, the potential setup. So, oh my God, open down, go up. Just you're seeing a theme here, and then holding sideways below this level. So nice like low risk entry, up above here, and then you get a trend day. So just talking about ideas. Momo, YY, those are nice like intraday level. You see it on the 15-minute chart a lot better, right? It's like nice over under level. Probably call this like a 7. I mean, it was hit so many times. You can see like price was really respecting this level. Once we, open up, blast down, try to test it again. So right in here is a sweet entry for this, and you risk 30 cents to make $2. I'm about that life. BWXT, just talking about failure tests at the all-time high, or the all-time high. Not a barn breaking trade, but talking about open up, go up, spike up, and then switching under VWAP, or even after the change of character, holding sideways below VWAP, below the all-time high level. Because maybe you don't want to be shorting at the all-time high. It's a bit aggressive, but some people trade that way. So just the principles of open up, go up, just what to avoid. Yard. Set up for the next day, so just kind of this weakness in the background, a couple overlapping days. Not really wide range. I'd like to see another like narrow range day. Already know. PTCT, I kind of had this idea from yesterday, a couple overlapping days, hugging the bottom of Keltner, countering a recent downtrend. So, nothing stellar here. BA, test the top of this range. So this could be a potential lower high. So, I don't know. You tell me. You don't say that to me a lot. So JDust. So get this narrow range inside day, kind of hovering at the low here. We had a change of character, still not extended from the band yet. Made a lower high after a change of character day, swinging from one end of the band maybe to the other. So I would have, you know, looking for a breakout from this day. So I've got my alert set there, and it's on my list. I think that's about it. I mean, we kind of went over the top, like the high beta names, and they all kind of did the same shit, you know. But as I said, I thought it was important, very important. Even though I had a winning trade in Alf, like my entry sucked, and I wasn't man enough to admit how badly it sucked. I even wanted to fudge it by 8 seconds to make myself look better. But that's the difference between Sean that's trying to get better and Sean that's trying to protect his ego. So, you know, had a string of like 3 good days trading now. Maybe even, you know, I don't know. McRib wasn't a good trade, so we'll call it 3. Call it 3 days of good trades. But you know, just coming in, like paying attention to these earnings plays today. You know, markets like changing, so it's kind of setups that weren't working before, or that have been working, like, you know, the top 90% all-time high breakouts probably aren't going to work as well now that SPY is like, you know, pulling back and looking different overall in the context of the market. So just kind of keep our eyes peeled. As I said, J-Dust is one of my top ideas, so I'm kind of, you know, gonna do another scan on Finviz for like some overextended, like maybe like overextended stocks for some counter trend trades, or at least like stocks looking like Chim Chim that are, you know, kind of ready for the backside, leaning more towards shorts recently. All right, bro.